Welcome back, guys, and we are smashing it here day after day once again, and I will show you what I believe is going to happen next year for Bitcoin, because I believe we are not done yet, and also what is going on with our altcoin trades, and will I give potentially some new ones? If you want to know what's going on here, stick around, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, like this video, and also activate the bell, and now let's get into it. We should be aware that we're just 70 days away from the Bitcoin halving right now, so it's not surprising that we are getting now the rally that I spoke about yesterday. And when we're going here into the charts, I have here marked out basically the whole Bitcoin cycle, what's happening there with bear cycle, bull cycle, accumulation phase, reaccumulation phase, and also the halvings. The halvings are here, these vertical lines you see here from 2016, then 2020, and for this year. And you can see every time when a Bitcoin, so here in this case, 8 years ago, was 30% within its bull run, the halving happened and we saw continuation. And just before that, let me actually mark this out. Just before that, we saw a small rally. So here, this is the small rally. The rally lasted for 2 months here in this case. Then in 2020, so here we have to take into consideration we had the COVID dump. With the COVID dump, it was how much? From March, also 2 months. So we are potentially looking here right now. So we have to take from here where we start running now 2 months, kind of something like this. Is this here? This is January. So it would mean until 15th of March, kind of like here. Until then, we should now see a run in Bitcoin mid-March. This can, of course, extend due to the fact that we never had spot ETF inflows. So I would not be surprised if this goes on for another month and we see something like this here. I want to address the fact that we might get in between a red candle, so it would be crazy if we would get now for 3 months, no red candle. For 2 months, more or less, here, no red candle. And then in the next 2 months, no red candle. That would be absolutely insane. So I don't believe that this will be the case. I believe that we will have in between a red candle. And I will also show you where I believe that red candle might be coming in here on the weekly chart. So, but for now, we know in 70 days is the halving coming up. And in these last 70 days, we usually get a run up into the halving that could bring us close or even over the all-time high. I want to be really cautious with that statement, but because we never broke an all-time high before we had the halving, but it might be in the cards due to the how to say that? Is it the Joker card? How I want to call it? Yeah. So let's call it the Joker, which is the ETF. So we never had it, so it's possible, but I'm not counting on it right now. I might change my stance if we go over $50,000, but for now I'm not seeing that. Here on this chart, you're gonna understand now why here on this weekly chart why I'm talking about $50,000. I want to show you the next potential bigger target for Bitcoin that we might be reaching this week potentially, or at some point next week, and then get a correction. First of all, based on the weekly chart on stochastic RSI, we should continue to go upwards, especially if we close in 2.5 days the weekly candle as it is, or potentially even higher, because we are about to get a buy signal on the stochastic RSI, which would mean that we are ready to go higher. To understand how high we can go here, I take from the all-time high the Fibonacci extensions to the low from the last bear market, and then you see that the golden ratio is lining up with the $50,000 level. Now we had already here with this candle when we touched $49,100 approximately, a taste of it, but because it's the Fibonacci golden ratio, we were also not surprised that we got a correction from there, and a severe one at the same time, because it is a really, really important level to overcome, to see continuation here to the upside. Now this time, what potentially can happen is that we step again into it. This time we are potentially even going above it, then get a rejection, getting slightly below it, but come straight back up because we have not so much time until the halving, and then actually break it just before the halving above it. So like a week or two before the halving, we're breaking above it and potentially go all the way up here to the 0.786. So this is for the long-term outlook, my scenario here for Bitcoin and how Bitcoin might be behaving here over the next coming weeks. So $50,000 is for me here definitely right now in the cards, especially when we're looking at this inverse head and shoulders pattern on the daily chart. So if you're in that trade, congratulations, you are massively in profits here, and the technical target is around $49,400 approximately. So once we are getting to this target, there is a high likely chance that we'll just continue to go higher, and I'm gonna show you in a moment also why that is. Here, this trade on the 4-hourly chart that I've given you 3 days ago-ish, here we are also approaching our second take profit point, so we are well on the way to hit this target here. And something else that I wanted to point out, I don't have it on this chart, it's fine, we're going to the next one. Here on the 30 minutes chart, just yesterday I gave you here this setup. I told you it's risky, but as you can see, we smashed the target here at $46,075. Also here, congratulations if you were able to catch that trade, and we even continue to pump here higher. But here on the 30 minutes, you see already, here is a rising wedge forming. So first caution signs are coming in here. So that could bring us back down to like $46,000. So it's not a lot, it's like 1.5% to the downside. I also see here a small bearish divergence on the 30 minutes chart. So if I draw a line like this, so you see a price is climbing, RSI is coming down. So unless we're breaking above that, we should be a little bit cautious here right now for the next couple of hours, you know, so not days or weeks, you know, so it's just potentially a minor correction. And guys, don't forget, if you want to trade all these calls that I give you absolutely for free here on the channel, do it please on BYBIT to support me with the link here below. You still get $30,000 if you sign up there, or on BitGet. On both exchanges, you also can apply for a debit card. And if you just want to follow my trades without having the headache to do, basically understand where to enter, where to exit, then just copy trade me on CoinW or on FAIRDESK. On FAIRDESK, you have still the highest bonus in the industry, $120,000. All these links are in the pin comment below and also in the description below. And I had somebody actually multiple people reaching out to me to understand where they can actually learn from me the way that I do TA and how I see stuff like that unfolding before it's actually happening. Just go to amcrypto.us. There you can buy my educational program. It is one of the best programs out there. I have designed this over, it took me over 8 or 9 months to complete this for you guys. So if you want to learn directly from me and understand how I'm reading the charts and become a profitable trader, that is the place to go, guys. So now let's have a look at liquidation levels and also a look at the order book, because these two things are going to tell us where we might, in the imminent short term, going to stop here, get a small correction before we move higher, or let me call it a briefer, where we might get a briefer here. So you can already see here, above $52,000, there are no shorts right now. And we are basically starting to clean up what I was preaching for such a long time already. Here is not much left in short liquidations, because every bear understands now, you know, it's getting hot for them to holding the shorts, so everybody starts going long. And you see here the massive liquidity down here that will be most likely be taken at some point. Until then, I still believe that we will touch at least $48,900 approximately, and potentially even pump a little bit higher to just clean all these shorts out. Of course, there will be degenerates shorting like crazy from these levels here, so this will fill up. But I don't expect here a massive short squeeze anymore, just because there is not a lot of short liquidations here left anymore, at least on BYBIT. So when we're going here to the liquidation heat map on Binance and go to a monthly chart, also here you can see we have cleaned up quite a lot, and here only low leveraged shorts also left with low liquidity. So there is not much left to clean here anymore. There is maybe $400, $500 million worth of short liquidations, all the way up to like $50,074. And worst case, I believe around the $50,000 level, we either get a blow off top, which will trap a lot of people, or we just touch 50,000 and directly turn around from the $50,000 level, and see then a massive rejection candle. Also here you see we're running into the last line of resistance here on the daily chart for Bitcoin with the EMA ribbons. And here is my word of caution for you guys. The stochastic RSI is overextended here, massively overextended, which does not mean that we need an imminent correction. So Bitcoin can still go higher. We are here at around 71.6% on the RSI. The RSI can go up until like 90% in a bull market, and also the MACD is still wide open. So we can for now potentially neglect a little bit the stochastic RSI, but it should be one of the warning signs that we should keep in the back of our mind, especially while we are trying here to break now $46,800 to snap back up to $48,000. So I have definitely keep in mind stuff like that. Now, when we're looking at the order book, above us here, $47,000, there is a lot of sell orders placed right now at 47,500, not so much, but then 48,500, and the biggest one right now is between 48,900 and $49,000. I don't know if there's one at 50. Yeah, and at 50. So these two levels are the biggest sell walls right now in the market that we should be aware of. Let me just move here a little bit forward. So, and we see here Bitcoin trying to attempt to break here in direction of $47,000. So if we can manage to overcome this level, there's not much resistance to go to 48. And once we flip that level, we're definitely going to get here 49, potentially $50,000, as I just mentioned here. So these are the levels that I'm looking at. If we would get a small correction to the downside, you see here a lot of buy orders placed. That's the next bigger level of support, $45,800, $46,000. Like I said, on the I think 4-hourly chart, I mentioned it also. There is not a long way to go down for the time being, unless we would start liquidating here a lot of these over leveraged long positions. But it doesn't look like it for the time being, because here in between, we're not taking any new long positions, you know. So it's a long way down to take out all these over leveraged ones. That's over a 10% move to the downside. I just don't see that happening right now in the imminent short term with a halving coming up. So it just looks highly unlikely. So the next level of support here would be around $45,000, the next major one. And yeah, these over leveraged long positions, they are heavily in profit right now. So otherwise, people are waiting to see what's going to happen. If it would be different, we would see more over leveraged longs coming in or more shorts piling up. It's not the case. So people are in waiting mode to see if we're actually going above this high point here or not. Now let's talk about altcoins. The Bitcoin dominance is rising. I mentioned it to you guys. If we start breaking higher for Bitcoin, the dominance will come up potentially to this here downward sloping trend line and touch it around 53.8%. From there, I definitely expect a turnaround if we are not going to $50,000 in the next coming days. I definitely expect then a small cool down on the Bitcoin dominance chart, which will lead to more altcoins to pump. So, and this is exactly what we want. Here you can see we are well off to $1.79 trillion here on the total market cap. Again, if we are managing to close a candle close above that level, we will most likely go to $2 trillion before the halving, in my opinion. Ethereum also well up here on the trade that I'd given also just yesterday. How much are we up here? 1.86%. So at one point it was like almost 2%. 25x leverage, almost 50% in a profit at the top of that candle here. we are getting closer to the golden ratio that I was talking about. Here we have to be a little bit careful, as I told you, because that is then the decisive moment to understand if we are in an ABC correction or if we just had here a normal correction with a deviation up here and now coming back to continue the upwards trend. So that's why I will take profits here around the golden ratio and then decide if I re-enter or wait for lower prices to open a new position. And you should do the same. Now on INJ, we also hit the first take profit point that I had given to you guys. We are still well on the way to the upside target of $40. So I wouldn't change anything besides changing your stop loss and take a little bit profit off the table. So my stop loss is now the Monday high, $33.64, which is more or less also the entry. And I have taken 30% profits off the table here at the first take profit point. Then AVAX is just about to break out to the upside. Once we are above, let's say $37, so 3% higher, I expect to see here a nice push to the upside to like almost $40. So here also this trade is running well for the time being. Also not much more to say to that. Then here DYDX, we were around the entry level, so I'm a long time already in that trade. Here I'm also just waiting for one massive candle shot to the upside because we are going sideways for such a long time here already. So we are going sideways here since last year, December, end of December. So 6 weeks, more or less, almost 7 weeks. So I definitely expect here a candle like this here soon for DYDX. So that's what I'm looking for. That's why I'm still in that trade, because I really believe that we are going to get a candle like that. When we look at the indicators, RSI is going up, MACD is fading out a little bit, stochastic is trending down, but it's not like that the price action is following a lot. So that could be just a small cool down before we turn around again and then actually get here this massive pump candle to the upside. Then on LDO, I was so angry, guys. I was so angry because I missed here this big pump, and I did not set a take profit point here at $3.05. I would have taken profit off here, but I was asleep when it happened. So, but also here I still see more upside for it and a reclaim of $3.05 and then going here to the target of $3.24. Nothing has changed here. Also, when I go to higher time frames, let's have a look here. Yeah, so the MACD is just about to flip bullish here today. On the 12-hourly, we are heavily bullish on the MACD and also on the RSI. And here again, stochastic RSI is about to give another buy signal while we are flatlining here in overbought conditions. So again, a small warning sign, but nothing crazy for me, as long as the price action is continuing to go higher here. And I have the MACD and the RSI trending to the upside and being bullish for the time being. Guys, that's it already for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Tomorrow I will most likely give you some more altcoin trades. I want to first wait a little bit to see how the ones are playing out that we are trading right now. If we get stopped out or something like that, so if I add to some positions and so on and so on. But yeah, tune in again tomorrow and don't forget, smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and hopefully see you then.